Oh, man. I'm excited. I don't know about you, Joseph.
I'm very excited. So the number one thing that Jeff has to worry about, outside of Cosmic Cyclone, of course, which is effectively an I win button for Nicholas, is Afterburners. Afterburners will be able to destroy one of Nicholas's cards and one of Jeff's spells. It's the other way in which Sky Striker routinely beats Floodgates. And then it can be reset with multi-roll, exactly once.
Can we also just acknowledge the fact, too, that we've talked about this multiple times, but if you're just joining us here in the stream, Jeff is a father to another one of the competitors, and, here he is.
This is his Solomon Moto moment.
Yeah, this is Grandpa Moto at its finest. I think I see a copy of Different Dimension Guide.
There's DD Guide. So all we need is the Mystic Mine, and we are off to the races.
He won the die roll.
He did? And there's the guide.
So there's the Different
Nicholas
Dimension Guide.
raises his eyebrows, goes, "Excuse me? Are we in Duel Links? Is this DD Tower?
So
What's going on?" He says, "Okay, I'll take it."
Okay, so it looks like it's on summon. There's Goddess Skuld's Oracle. So this is
he just immediately understands what's going on here.
Right. So Goddess Skuld's Oracle, like we said, it's going to allow Jeff to look at the top 3 cards of Nicholas's deck and allow him to sculpt the top of the deck. Now, one thing I will say that might not be particularly good against Sky Striker because 1, they have a ton of search power. 2, Engage allowing him to draw cards might make a very significant difference here because if he can draw multiple times, he's going to be able to get through the top 3 a lot quicker than most decks might usually be able to.
Yeah, something like an Engage would, just shuffle the deck, reorient where you end up. We're going to Ghost Ogre.
Ogre on the Goddess
Cosmic
Skuld's
Cyclone.
Oracle.
Or the Goddess Skuld's Oracle.
I kind of like that. Ogre doesn't really have any
You have almost
use.
no targets for sure.
Right.
And that last card in hand looks like a Mystic Mine, though I'm not sure exactly.
I would hope so. Otherwise, he gave the guide to his opponent.
Yeah, there's a set copy of... Ooh.
You know what, though? Guide isn't, the worst because, Nicholas has to get rid of it.
Yeah, it actually does matter.
In Sky Striker particularly.
So there is a Demise of the Land set.
Okay, so that does matter.
If Nicholas specials a monster, he'll be able to activate it. However, if he knows what his opponent's playing, which he can likely sniff out from the Skuld's Oracle, he might just normal summon Ray and start attacking.
Yeah, someone in chat actually said that Jeff is 51 years old.
Wow.
That is amazing.
You're never too old to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Get some Grandpa Motos in the chat, boys. So, it looks like they're just trying to clarify how the Different Dimension Guide works.
And for what it's worth, this is important to clarify. DD Guide is an exceptionally old card, and it does something that cards didn't do for, decades after, which is switch control to your opponent. So likely it's not as updated as it could be.
So it looks like we're going to see an attack from DD Guide. I believe DD Guide has 1,400 attack, and if I'm correct, I don't know why I know that.
Why would you know that?
Let's see. I know you're going to look that up for us.
Oh, of course. Here he is. 1,400. How did you do that?
I don't know.
All right, so...
I swear I did not look that up prior to.
It actually doesn't look like it activates. It's when this card is normal summoned, give control of it to your opponent. Normal summoned, comma. During each player's end phase, your opponent selects one card from the graveyard of this card's controller and removes it from play. And it looks like he's going to go into Phoenix here.
Okay, so we're going to see a link to...
So this is great news for Jeff, who has a copy of Demise set. Phoenix targeting the Demise. Ooh, pretty good. Oof. So Phoenix is going to activate first.
Did Jeff shotgun the Demise of the Land there, unfortunately?
Did, in fact. So we'll get to eat that set card.
Oh, no, maybe not. I think he was going after the Demise of the Land.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to read Demise real quick.
Again, it's effectively, like you said, Metaverse in the form of a quick play spell.
I'm pretty sure, and you can correct me on this, Demise isn't particularly picky about activation conditions. It's more of a bottomless trap hole than, say, for example, something that cares the method by which it's summoned, if it's summoned by card effect or just 2 monsters linking together. All right, and a quick read of Mystic Mine. He's on Striker. I think this is more of a resigned sort of sigh than an actual...
Well, the nice thing is, there is a monster, but Nicholas did clear his main monster zone, so he does have his Sky Striker cards live, so he could still...
Whoa.
Ooh.
What's happening there? All right, we're having a little bit of a...
Yeah, a little bit of a discussion there. I'm not sure what confusion there would be. Because Phoenix
targets on activation. Yeah. So he's going to go for the set card.
Okay, I think they're just trying to clarify. Yeah. Maybe they're trying to clarify like the timing.
Yeah, so likely I think what happened is Nicholas.
I think Jeff shotgunned.
Yeah, Jeff did shotgun the demise of the land
before Nicholas declared his target with Phoenix.
So then declared the target of the not demise card.
Right.
That Dark Bribe getting sent to the graveyard is important, though. If that Dark Bribe was available for Afterburners or multi-roll, Jeff is one negation away from just walking with the game.
Yeah. Now, do keep in mind that Nicholas does have Cosmic Cyclones in his deck. So.
Well, let's see what he says. I didn't really see.
I was trying to read his lips. Okay, so when I was talking to Jeff earlier, he said that once he knows what his opponent's playing, he will adapt. So
I did see Nicholas say it looked like Afterburners. I think Nicholas just like, yeah. If Nicholas if Jeff called Afterburners, then that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
There are a couple of ways that Sky Striker can get out of this.
I top decked an
pretty good one. Pretty good one. Seems okay.
Jeff just needs his win condition at this point. He needs a wave motion.
There are a couple of ways that Sky Striker can out this particular board, and they involve destroying your own monster and then triggering the effect of Mystic Mine. If Jeff finds something like, say, a field barrier, while it won't provide ample protection from Cosmic Cyclone, it will prevent Mystic Mine's self-destroying condition from destroying itself. And suddenly the outs become exactly Cosmic Cyclone.
Right.
And if Afterburners is called that,
final countdown.
Nicholas just raises his eyes. He goes, whatever. Sure.
Chat, start a countdown right now.
Yeah, okay. So this is the first turn doesn't count, correct?
No, it does not count. So it will be 20 turns.
Yeah.
So it's 10 back and forth full rotations.
And he's pointing back and forth to designate.
Yes.
Nicholas says, how on earth are we actually winning this game?
Chat, get ready for it. Let's start the countdown.
Oh, he pulls out dice. Says, this is the life that you have remaining.
You know what? I think that's smart. I feel like you should.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, you could write it on paper too, but you need some visual indicator so that there's no confusion as to this happening.
So the actual field barrier. We're down to Cosmic Cyclone or bust, baby.
Cosmic Cyclone or bust.
If you're Nicholas, what do you do in this position? Your opponent's playing a bunch of cards you haven't seen since like the Yugi starter deck.
You have 10 turns to draw Cosmic Cyclone.
You have 10 turns to draw exactly.
No, not even that. You have 10 turns to draw Cosmic Cyclone and then kill your opponent.
Oh,
which
yeah.
you're playing
yeah.
Striker.
Yeah, I mean, you can Hayate, what, 3 or 4? It takes 6 direct attacks.
Here we go. Jeff's turn, 18.
Nicholas just shaking his head.
It's the final countdown.
How does this work with round time? I expect this round is not going to go to time.
I don't either. I actually did forget to set the timer, so they're already several minutes in. I will just go ahead and put the timer for us to...
And Skuld is so devastating here.
No, this is key, too, because if Jeff can catch wind that his opponent gets a Cosmic Cyclone, he then, if he draws another copy of Prohibition, can actively call Cosmic Cyclone with that second copy and effectively shut Nicholas out of any out to this board. So literally,
this is so amazing.
Literally, this will come down to if Jeff can draw Prohibition before Nicholas can draw a Cyclone.
And if that's what's happening, my money's on the individual with the Goddess Skuld's Oracle on their side of the field. Oh,
this should be 16 turns?
Nicholas looks absolutely miserable.
This should be 16 left?
I completely feel it. His Skuld again. He says, sure, yeah, whatever.
Oh, my God.
For any of you who've never played against a Fate Sealing effect, there's only one thing more debilitating than getting Fate Sealed: your opponent not rearranging any cards.
This
is okay. All right.
Incredible.
Oh my goodness. It's turn 7, baby.
If you are not watching this right now, I feel so sorry.
You're missing out.
If you are watching this in chat, please promote this somewhere to let people see this happening.
We've got at least one more game of this.
We have at least, yeah, possibly more matches if he progresses further beyond.
And for what it's worth, when Metaverse was limited, people immediately got off any semblance of Mystic Mine. But I think Jeff is doing a pretty good job of making an argument for continuing to play the deck. Ooh, now this is an actually rough choice. He has to read one of his opponent's cards.
I think it's Cosmic Cyclone.
I can't tell. It looks kind of like Hercules base.
Oh, it's so hard to tell from the angle.
Yeah.
I saw like a little...
And he's shifted. I do agree to the individuals in chat. If you're Nicholas in this position, you got to scoop. Why are you holding on to this game?
I think the biggest issue is that Nicholas knows he has Cosmic Cyclone in his deck, and so he's really just trying to... Actually, you're right, though, because if he's getting Fate Sealed off of the Goddess Skuld, there's no chance for him to get it unless he has
Left arm. He's going to left arm for the other Prohibition. Yeah, for sure.
That might do it.
That actually does do it.
That I think if you see this, I think you scoop if you're Nicholas.
Have to.
You have to.
All right.
This is so brilliant.
Lip readers in chat. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, so there we go.
Okay, he said Prohibition there.
Okay. He hasn't activated it yet.
No. It kind of looked like Cosmic Cyclone. I'm not sure.
It was hard. It's hard.
Regardless.
Joseph and I, by the way, are literally leaning into the screen as we're watching this.
You've got to get out of this game if you're Nicholas.
I agree. If you're Nicholas, you can't.
You're striker. You don't want to end up in time against this deck that's playing like wave motion cannons and ways to shut off your monsters and ways to prevent your attack. Jeff is more than comfortable not going for a burn win and just waiting for final countdown to slowly tick. You can't waste 15 minutes letting Jeff draw and pass.
I'm really curious. Like, does Nicholas have the Cyclone set?
He has to, because otherwise this is just an exercise in futility. But like, what exactly? He's giving him jamming waves on top because it does nothing in this specific instance. Nicholas is going to jamming waves in Jeff's set card and destroy his own monster, and then recognize what Field Barrier does when on the field with Mystic Mine.
I'm baffled.
Yeah, it looks like the two Prohibitions are on Afterburners and Cosmic Cyclone, which is,
I believe, yes,
an unoutable board state.
I'm looking. Where is Nicholas's list? I want to just.
So Nicholas's.
I'll watch the game while you take a look at the list and see if there's any other way that we're missing.
Yeah, so Nicholas's outs are exclusively a way to remove his monster before Field Barrier hits the field, an Afterburner, or Cosmic Cyclone. And two of those are shut off. The third isn't going to matter because Field Barrier is on the field.
So we see a Foolish Burial Goods from Nicholas here.
I'm sure this is just going to send a copy of Metal Foes Fusion.
Now, this is good. This shuffles the deck. So now he can Metal Foes Fusion, draw.
And he has one draw step to find what?
One draw to find if Jeff has not called Cosmic Cyclone, he does have the chance to call Cosmic Cyclone here. But that's barring he has it. And we don't know because we can't hear them. But
yeah.
I feel like Jeff might have identified it off the top three.
Hey, checking Field Barrier. That's right. It does, in fact, protect Mystic Mine from its own condition.
Or did he draw the Cyclone?
He sets
Area Zero.
Area Zero's good.
Ooh, yeah. Area Zero.
It's not terrible, but you only get to activate it once.
And it doesn't shuffle. Well, it does shuffle the deck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could theoretically, how could you go about this? So you could go Area Zero, send, try to add one of the striker cards on top, and then you would have to have like another Foolish Burial Goods to send a Metal Foes Fusion.
Oh, and he's locked.
Oh, no.
He's locked. That's it. One of those 5 cards has to do something.
Are we on turn 16 right now?
We are on turn 16. That is correct.
I'm assuming he's going up. So
I mean, that's got to be it then.
This has to be it.
There's no way Striker can
Ladies
mount.
and gentlemen, we're about to see a final countdown resolve on stream, for first of our top 16 games here at Pro Play Tour Orlando.
Jeff he's so cool. He's imbued with a mystic energy that allows him to make these plays.
A Mystic Mine energy.
Oh, chat says they saw Cosmic Cyclone.
But even if you have the Cosmic Cyclone at this point, final countdown is going to... You can't deal enough damage.
If you can outfield Barrier, if you can out Mystic Mine, if you can out both Prohibitions, you have to win. And there's no way to do that. Jeff's taken one DD guide hit.
I think he passed. This is the last turn, right?
Yeah, this is turn 19. He's going to Skuld.
Okay,
he's going to say, all right, have one draw step.
If Nicholas has a way to win this on the last turn that I am not aware, there's a Cyclone.
There's a Cyclone.
That's a Cyclone right there. Putting it on the bottom.
Jeff says, oh, you won't be drawing that card. All right, Nick. Let's see it. It says, final countdown.
Oh, my God. Final countdown resolved its win condition. Jeff has just taken game number 1.
I'm losing my mind.
Oh,
this is incredible.
My God. Jeff is 1 win away from top 8.
And you saw both players just kind of laughing a little bit. If you're Nicholas, I think I'd be frustrated originally, but you get to a point where you can't be upset about how ridiculous this scenario is.
Yeah, like this is prime Yu-Gi-Oh. Just to quickly wrap it up, he also Jeff also has 3 copies of Lava Golem and Unending Nightmare. We probably won't see those. Most likely.
Unending Nightmare might be all right. It's a way to prevent them from using something like an Area 0 to get rid of a monster on their side of the field. Multi-roll and Area 0, of course, are really the only ways that they can do that outside of something like Afterburners. So Unending Nightmaring those cards repeatedly could mean that all of a sudden Mystic Mind's self-destroy condition is not going to even factor into the game.
A whiff on the Area 0 there. But what's also interesting, too, is that if you play Unending Nightmare can go after field spells, correct?
It can.
So what's interesting about that is Unending Nightmare on the Area 0 is actually pretty good because you want your opponent to get a monster so you can Mystic Mind them.
Well, they're not going to get it. They're going to go, you know what, actually, Ray can stay in the deck.
Yeah.
So he's going to lead with a Mystic Mind. Nick says, what? And there's the field barrier. You better have a Twin Twister right now.
If there's a twin, it resolved. It resolved. And a
Skuld,
Goddess Skuld
says,
does already have the lock. The question is, does Jeff have a monster to put on Nicholas's... Well, field barrier's active now.
It doesn't
So
matter.
it doesn't matter. He doesn't need a monster.
This is such an interesting innovation into the deck. I really like it.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And the judge is like,
just making
are you really going to make me read this again?
Just making sure with field barrier, yes, it protects it from being destroyed, and that also includes its own effect to destroy itself.
That is true. Field Barrier, one of those cards that was written before, people really expected anything but MST to be destroying field spells. Certainly not their own effects. So, one thing that Jeff's deck is loaded on is cards like Solemn Judgment. We didn't see them previously, but while Prohibition is really good at turning off possible answers, Solemn Judgment, really good as well.
What I will say is, too, is from talking to Jeff, he did say that, and we talked about this in his previous feature match as well, is that he's an older gentleman, and the thing is, when you're older, it's hard for you to play Yu-Gi-Oh and play these crazy combo decks.
Imagine having a career, steady income, and having to keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. And so he said that he can't. His brain just doesn't work that way to be able to play these different combo decks.
Another whiff.
Yeah, but we did see the Cyclone that was on top too. So the thing is,
now going to be shuffled.
Jeff was saying he said he wanted to play a deck to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but play to his strengths, and he identified that there are a lot of combo decks in the format that fold to Mystic Mine, and so this is the route he decided to take, and here he is at the top 16.
Rather than invest, actually, unironically, 40 to 50 hours learning the ins and outs of the several viable combo decks in the format, just completely nullifying them seems pretty good.
So now we see the Goddess Skuld going in again. So much value here.
Yeah, look at it. I see a drone.
I think that's a Cyclone, potentially.
Nicholas is on the secret Cyclones, so Rarity can help us out here.
It could. You saw Nicholas during that last turn. He just kind of threw that card down on the far left of his zone.
Fine.
Yeah.
So, Area 0 actually putting in a ton of work.
I agree. Allowing him to just shuffle his deck effectively every single turn. Here's a goods. Okay. This is significant because now Nicholas gets to shuffle his deck, he gets to send Metalfoes Fusion, and he gets to get a fresh draw that is not under Goddess Skuld.
Ooh, he's sending
Eagle Booster.
Eagle Booster. Now, this is particularly interesting. What do you think he's setting up for? Something like an Afterburners play?
I'm not particularly sure.
It would have to be like normal summon array, Afterburners, your field barrier, and my monster tag out.
Okay, twin.
Really good cards that are not Sky Strikers. There's Engage. That's about the best 3 you could reveal.
Yeah.
Only one of them, of course, can be added to your hand.
So it was okay. So he had the Metalfoes Fusion. That was the only other thing I was gonna say is he had to have drawn it because I don't know why else you wouldn't send Metalfoes Fusion there. If he had, Twin Twister was on the top, by the way. It wouldn't be able to take out the mine, but at least you could take out Goddess Skuld and stop yourself from getting locked.
Yeah, popping Goddess Skuld and Field Barrier is pretty good, but there's about a 0% chance that one of those set cards isn't something like a Cursed Seal. If you're Jeff, do you think you shotgun a Cursed Seal if you have it on this Engage?
If you have, honestly, I would. I feel like in the long term,
I wouldn't.
It depends on what your other back row is. Because you know that Nicholas has Cosmic Cyclone. If you have a way to protect yourself from Cyclone plus Curse Seal, you Curse Seal the Engage.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, Engage is going to be able to generate so much value.
And he says go.
See? Is he going to allow it?
Yeah.
Or is he thinking about it?
I think Nicholas is thinking about what on earth he wants to get. What decks are in top 16? Once again, that's 2 Striker, 2 Orchist, 2 Lunalite Orchist, 2 Pure Thunder, 2 Endymion, 1 Guru, 2 Salamangrate, 1 True Draco, 1 Cyber Dragon Orchist, and this Jeff Leonard on Mystic Mine.
One thing we did forget to mention is that Jeff is also playing 3 Dark Bribe and 3 Solemn Judgment. So he has a lot of ways to deal with any sort of effective removal in the form of Cosmic Cyclone, pretty much doubling up what Nicholas would have. So even if Nicholas does get the Cosmic Cyclone, Jeff, presumably would have a higher probability of having an out to the Cyclone.
So we're getting Jamming Waves here. Jamming Waves is okay in that it probably represents one Solemn Judgment that Nicholas doesn't have to worry about, but it doesn't destroy any of the relevant cards.
Just taking a quick read there. What I love about Jeff, too, is that he takes his time to read the cards.
As you should. If you're a duelist, don't get intimidated into moving quickly by your opponent.
You even saw he took maybe a good 20 seconds to just even his finger it was reading out loud for clarity on the effect.
The card's got about 8 different things it does.
Now Engage does net Nicholas an extra draw here, so this could be significant.
All right, let's see. All right.
So we're going to see Jamming Wave on the far right set.
Oh, he's going to Judgment. What is that set card? It's definitely Curse Seal.
It has to
There's
be
no
Curse
way.
Seal. What else would you
You see Nicholas got it. Well.
Nicholas also, if you notice his body language, his hands were starting to move a little bit more, so he might have drawn something good off the Engage. It could be a Cyclone, potentially.
So,
Or he's Metal Flows Fusion first.
Our time is a little off. It's probably about 10 minutes
maybe
past
5,
this.
maybe 5.
Yeah, 5 or 10.
Yeah.
But there are no ties in Swiss. So
Right.
if Nicholas is able to stall out this game without Jeff finding a win condition for the next, say, 5 or 10 turns, we may have to go into a very precarious Game 3 situation.
Yes. Now, the thing is, Jeff, if all the decks going into time, so to speak, this is not Jeff's deck is the deck you would least want to go up against. Because it has all the options. Now, the thing is, Jeff does not have a win condition on the field at the moment.
He doesn't. He has a wave motion cannon.
Right.
Very badly.
He needs a wave motion cannon. He needs Final Countdown. He needs one of his effective 4 win conditions or left arm offering to search the win condition.
And recognizing situations where you can extend the amount of plays you're doing to artificially garner yourself more time without slow playing is important for Nicholas. Like activating something like an Area 0 every turn nets him a good 10 to 15 seconds and means that suddenly we are playing a potential in-time scenario during Game 2.
Now, the interesting thing is, I don't know if Jeff actually necessarily has a way to deal damage if we have to go to a sudden death Game 3.
He's got just wave motion.
Right, so the problem is wave motion takes a full turn cycle before you can even do damage. The issue is Nicholas can just go into Kaina.
Yeah.
So I feel like Nicholas is almost favored if the game runs long, which is obviously going to. He's almost favored in that regard when life totals become a difference, because not only is wave motion cannon susceptible to being removed, but Kaina can be used proactively on the turn it's played, whereas wave motion takes a full turn to even be able to deal the damage.
Right, of course.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out if Jeff doesn't manage to get one of his win conditions here and kind of put a clock on this game.
Kind of put a clock.
That was a good one. I'll give you that one.
I could have done it a little better. Chat, forget that. I'll do it again. More like, kind of put a clock on this game.
No, the first one's better.
Yeah, you're right.
At least Jeff's having fun.
We'll
see.
Area 0, the set card. And really, this turn, Nicholas hasn't slow played, but it's taken like 2 minutes.
Ash Twin, Ogre, miss. That is the 3rd miss off Area 0 this game.
This man's deck does not like him.
No, absolutely not.
Jeff got a chuckling too.
I mean, I'd feel pretty good if I were Jeff if I see 3 Area 0 misses.
Yeah, we're going to shuffle back this copy of Metal Flows Fusion.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nicholas was just trying to, skip steps there.
What? So Jeff's really does have to find almost immediately some sort of win condition here.
Yes. The time is not in his... It's interesting that for once the time is not in the favor of the Mystic Mind player.
Yeah.
Which is oddly bizarre to say.
Well, Solemn Judgment. It's a heck of a card, but it loses you time scenarios.
Yes. He needs to draw his... He has 7 ways to get there.
And he's got... You'll notice he's got a couple of cards in his hand that he's just not playing. If he has a left arm offering, then...
He needs to build up his hand.
Yeah, because you have to banish at least 2.
Correct. So that's just more turns he has to wait, unfortunately. Yeah. Now, okay, here's the question. If you left arm, Do you left arm for Final Countdown or Wave Motion Cannon?
I'm still left arming for Final Countdown.
Okay.
I think it's, 2 additional turns, unsusceptible
There's an
to
engage.
destruction. Sheesh.
I agree. I feel like Final Countdown's the better card because nothing is protecting the Wave Motion Cannon other than your back row. And Final Countdown, as soon as it resolves, Nicholas has no way to negate it.
Yeah.
So it's going to resolve its effect, and then you just have to wait those 20 turns to hopefully be able to just win.
Mm-hmm.
But if Nicholas finds any way to break this lock, he only has to deal 4,000 damage, which for Striker is
It's not
that
super
much.
hard.
Yeah. Jeff,
Counting the graveyard real quick, it's possible he has the out to the field barrier and he's just trying to figure out how to OTK this turn. That would be interesting.
because Ray plus Hayate already is 3k, and if you have a bunch of spells engraved, Kagari could even be just the difference maker.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh, so multi-roll's getting flipped now.
Jeff looks at that card that was targeted previously. That makes me think that it's a Curse Seal. So I don't know what you do here, because if you pop the... Oh, it's an unending nightmare. Wow, that's a good one.
The look on Nicholas's face. So we are going to take the 1,000. I did not think he was going to side that in, I'll be honest.
You probably want to kill the Area 0 as well, too, right?
Why not? But but here's a question. Why hasn't
he activated it yet?
Right.
I don't think that Jeff is playing for time. I think Jeff is comfortable with his opponent activating Area 0, but doesn't understand that it is effectively artificially losing him time.
The problem, I feel like the issue is, wait a minute. Does Field Barrier protect Area 0 too?
Oh my god, it does. Oh, it's reciprocal.
Okay.
It's that old.
That makes sense. I didn't realize it affected both players. Okay, that makes sense then. Because otherwise it makes no sense to keep Area 0 around this long.
Oh,
okay.
Ridiculous.
So I've got a Skuld. Going to sculpt the top 3.
Oh, what is that? That's an Ash.
Now here's a question. If you're Jeff, if you don't get to one of your win conditions quickly enough, within let's say, we know our clock's maybe 5 minutes off, so maybe they have 12 minutes
I'd consider
left.
conceding now.
Do you consider conceding earlier to give yourself time to get either your wave motion or your final countdown online, so that way you actually can burn? Because like we said, I actually don't think going into sudden death favors Jeff. I think Nicholas actually wants to drag the game out to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because right now, Nicholas is going to win this game, and then if we go to sudden death, we'll have a game 3 that's 2 turns each?
Well, Nicholas is only going to win this game if they get to time.
Right.
I think what's preventing Jeff from conceding is that in any conceivable universe that doesn't involve time, Jeff is way ahead.
Right, but that is something he needs to be cognizant of. So, I don't know. It's just something to think about from our perspective. Obviously, we have perfect knowledge of everything, but and we're not the ones playing, because when you're playing, you're in a time warp, and time goes by a lot quicker than you may realize. Looks like Nicholas is asking for clarification on one of the back row there.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what. But it looks like I'm happy they're communicating well. That's good to see.
If you're Jeff, he is an excellent sport. Imagine going to a tournament, playing this deck, and every single person you play hating you. That's the downside to Mystic Mine.
And not only that, though, imagine having to explain all the cards to your opponent or having to read them. It takes patience.
Yeah.
And sometimes players like that. Players sometimes like having the ability to have an edge on their opponent by not knowing what their cards, or not having their opponent know what their cards do, excuse me. And that's fine, but it does get fatiguing.
Oh, Chad is pointing out... Oh, there's no way. Chad is pointing out the Sky Striker deck is becoming very small.
Ooh.
There's no chance that that's going to happen, is there? There's, 15 cards remaining?
Nicholas doesn't have a way to recycle any of his cards, does he?
Oh, he has a Hercules base.
But Hercules base...
That's not a ton of cards.
Right, but he can only use that once, correct? Because how would he get it back?
You can Hercules base, then reset it with multi-roll.
Multi-roll's gone.
Yeah, it's all the way gone. He hasn't used Kagari, but good luck doing that under Mystic Mine.
So he could potentially cycle 3 cards back, but then he draws 1, so he only gets 2 cards. So when he only buys himself, 2 turns? And every copy yeah.
Does it draw you one?
I thought it does. Or does it just recycle it?
Oh, there's no way that I'm going to read. That I'm going to read that card.
Or maybe it only draws. I'm sorry, maybe it only draws when
if you destroy.
If you destroy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. I was about to say, oh, great. He's taking a minute to do nothing. Yeah, but notice he hasn't really slow played. Like, he really is making plays.
He's discarding for hand size. He discarded 2 cards there.
Wow. 2 cards for hand size.
So Goddess Skuld.
He says, okay.
The only thing about deck thinning, though, you have to think. There are still Cosmics in the deck.
Yeah.
And
Cosmics
Jeff
and there's Twisters.
does not have Prohibition either. He could have Curse Seal. We don't know this. But if
it's not like Nicholas is deck thinning by way of like a Pot of Desires. The cards in the deck are just not Sky Striker cards.
No, and it's interesting too because it's like Nicholas. There's this race to get to Cosmic Cyclone, but at the same time you're simultaneously decking yourself out. So there could be there's the Cosmic Cyclone off the top from the Area Zero and the Twin Twister.
Just nothing.
Whiffing every single time. I mean, he's just depleting
Well,
himself.
he's out of
his Sky Striker cards are just
cards,
because he's just been trying to just get into his deck as deep as he can. Look how thin the deck is. That has to be.
It is actually probably 15 cards.
15 cards max. So it's a very interesting race here. If Jeff gets Prohibition, well, actually that won't seal it because with Nicholas playing Twin as well, Nicholas could Twin Twister Prohibition, then Cyclone Mystic Mine.
Yeah.
So that is also a way that Nicholas can get out of this.
Yeah. So Jeff's got cards in his hand. If there's a left arm offering, Jeff, fire it now.
Oh, so it looks like the judge is picking up the 3 cards for
Skuld's Oracle.
I think so. I'm not sure what that was, but whatever it was, it was just probably for procedure. Maybe just to make sure everything was good. It's going to pass again. Still no win condition from Jeff's side.
Oh, sheesh. We're, what, like 20 cards down?
Imagine if he had Final Countdown. We would have resolved Final Countdown at this point.
I think we could make it, but it'd be...
Oh, no, I meant if we already activated it. We would have.
Oh, yeah.
We would have
Oh,
resolved
for sure.
it by
If this was activated turn 1, we are far into Final Countdown.
Yeah. All right. Another Area Zero activation. Twin, Upstart, Twin. See, that's the other thing. Like, every single time he's activating this and thinning his deck from using Engage and all these other cards, he's just seeing redundant copies of Twin and Cyclone that are going to be at the top. It might get to the point where Goddess Skuld could on the top reveal like
Triple
Cosmic,
Twin.
Cosmic, Cosmic, or Cosmic Twin Cosmic, and Jeff doesn't have a choice but to give Nicholas one of those cards on top.
Yeah. But think about it from Nicholas's perspective. Making sure that Area Zero is going to reveal nothing and shuffle every time isn't really a net bad for him.
I agree.
I might even stop resolving Skuld's Oracle. It's just an extra little bit of time.
Looks like
there was a Cosmic put on the
He
bottom
left them
there.
exactly as they were. I don't think you see that very often with Skuld.
Feels bad.
Pitching a D.
Wait.
For hand size?
For hand side, yeah.
What is in Jeff's hand?
I have no idea what could
Does
possibly
he just have
be
redundant copies of Goddess Skuld or Mystic Mine?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
I don't know
like,
what else it could be.
Because you would have left arm at this point for your win condition, or maybe he has copies of DD Guide which don't do anything.
So they could be very late draws of something like Card of Demise.
Oh, got some drones. Okay.
No, we actually found one, yeah.
Here's a question. Would there be any reason to not give him DD Guide? There's the Hercules base. Okay, so we're going to see some
three
recycling.
shuffled back.
Now, what's interesting is that you could recycle multi-roll.
Jeff, we got to go to game 3, friend.
You could recycle multi-roll and engage here.
Oh, to chat saying he can't left arm because it just gets ashed, I have bad news about what Mystic Mine does. Ooh, wait, no. No, I don't. You can activate Ash under Mystic Mine. Ooh,
There's no
good
monster.
call.
Yeah.
Wow. Chat, 140 IQ. I apologize.
But is that another reason to give Nicholas a monster with DD Guide?
Yeah, it is, for sure.
I mean, because then you can resolve these cards without fear.
I mean, there is, of course, always a chance that he can pop it with the Area Zero, but I still think it's probably worth a shot.
If you get one window of opportunity to be able to dig for the card that you need, I feel like that's worth it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Jeff, scope.
So, engage coming down. There's a Ray on the bottom. Nicholas's deck is literally nothing but like Ash Blossoms, Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones, and then like the 3 cards that he shuffled back with Hercules base.
So jamming waves is pretty good here. It allows him to get rid of this last card.
You saw Nicholas's eyebrows raise up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. He might have drawn a Cyclone. All right, so jamming on the set.
He's going to chain Solemn Judgment.
I don't know why you would change Solemn
Hero.
Judgment.
To flex, I think.
Okay. Going to pay half.
Twister,
Twin.
here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
so
he's actually outing this.
he might have the
no.
pieces. Okay, so Twin. I don't know what he's targeting.
Field Barrier for sure. Yeah,
Field Barrier,
Skuld
God of
seems
Skuld.
pretty good.
Okay.
Jeff goes, well, yeah, it's not like I really have anything to deal with that.
Ooh. Did he go after round ending?
He did, yes.
Okay.
I think I like that.
I think that's-
Skuld really doesn't matter to you at this
Yeah,
point
I
in the
feel
game.
like Nicholas should have everything he needs at this
So
point.
now he can just pass, and he'll lose this Mystic Mine.
I mean, if he has any other... Yeah, looks like we're going to end phase. Mystic Mine will destroy itself. But the thing is, Jeff
I
could
bet
have,
Jeff has a Mystic Mine. Yeah.
If Jeff... Well, so Jeff has 6 cards in hand, right? So,
Yeah.
So Jeff could realistically have Mine Barrier again
Yeah.
if he hasn't played anything.
Well, there's the barrier.
There's the barrier. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Are
just awful.
Are we just going to see him set up again with this mat? Okay, there's Mine.
He says,
Does
yeah,
Nicholas
okay,
have...
sure.
Does Nicholas have anything?
Oh, a second barrier? Yeah, well, you know, you
Nicholas-
have 7 cards in hand.
Nicholas said sure.
Yeah. How does Final Countdown work with Kappa?
Is Jeff scooping?
He is
Okay.
either scooping or we have been informed that is time.
It looks like it might be because it looks like one of our other judges
Is coming over with yeah, it looks like we are going to proceed to time procedures now.
Okay. So, game 2 goes to Nicholas because his life was higher. We cannot have
no.
draws because we are in time. Or, excuse me, because we are in single elimination.
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
It says, great luck to you. Nice to see that Jeff is keeping his spirits high. All right.
So, we need to see Mine, Barrier. I see a left arm.
Whoa, I see a left arm and I see an Extravagance.
Ooh.
This is a sweet opener. It is a quality grip.
But you can't use both in the same...
No,
Wait,
you can.
You can, yes. You
it's
can.
just
Sorry.
draws your
Sorry,
ban
it's
from.
draws your ban, yes. I was thinking the opposite.
Bryce says, if he opens Twin, I'm not watching this stream anymore. 3 in 40.
34,
Could happen.
6, drawing to 6, so
Yeah, you
that's
have 6
actually a
chances.
43% chance to open Twin.
Oh, that's awful. That's very high.
Not to mention, okay, so
That's not going to be there for the left arm offering.
I was going to say that's not too bad. Having the extra cards would be good.
As an individual who plays a lot of Pot of Extravagance, if Extravagance Red get the Ash out of your opponent's hand, it would be functionally identical.
I was going to say you feel pretty good about that, especially when another... Now, the problem is you need to banish 2 cards for left arm, right?
Yeah, and he's got 4 remaining. If one's mine, we can arm for Field Barrier.
Is that enough, though?
No. You need a win con, too. Well, that looks kind of like a mod. Is that a countdown?
Oh, no.
Did he leave countdown in? Jeff, what is your plan?
What would you side into, though?
Prohibition.
What do you call?
Oh, I wish you could Prohibition and call Ash
Did he
before
call-
you before you Extravagance.
I really...
There's a metaverse. That was a metaverse.
That was a metaverse.
So if you're in Nicholas's position, you've just seen Jeff just kind of look at his hand and pass. You might think he bricked. And if you think he bricked, you could normal summon a Ray. And if you normal summon a Ray, you're going to eat the metaverse. Okay, no one say anything. Everyone be very quiet.
I'm kind of interested in the fact that, okay, engage, that's a good start. I'm interested in the fact that Jeff playing this deck, he's not playing any card to side in for time that he can just outright win.
Yeah.
Like,
For those of you saying they can't side, we're not in extra turns after game 2.
they
This isn't
conceded
sudden
with
death or
they
anything.
conceded with 3 seconds, or Jeff conceded with 3 seconds, so they did have time to decide.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like in instances like this, you could side out your final countdown for Poison of the Old Man, right? Or just whatever card that you feel like you just need to just win the game outright in situations like
That's
this.
a monster.
That's a Ray.
You fool!
He immediately flip that metaverse.
The second Ash Blossom. Oh, Jeff. Wow.
That works.
So, unfortunately, though there is a mode that can't be Ash Blossomed, you can Ash Blossom.
As long as there's a
Metaverse.
mode that can be Ash Blossomed.
Oh, boy. Well, it was a
Oh.
fun run, but that is quite certainly going to end it. We get to Ray here. We activate the effect of Ray in order to go into Hayate. We use Hayate's effect. We use Kagari's effect. And then Jeff has a very uphill battle for his last remaining turn.
That was perfect. For
Yeah.
Nicholas, anyway. I mean,
Well executed. I mean, Ash Blossom is a card that, in very specific scenarios, does a lot for Nick.
so Jeff's going to go down to 5K. We're going to send off Hayate here.
Yeah. He's talking about Prohibition real quickly. I'm sure it's naming a card that Nicholas isn't likely to send. And he'll
Jeff's is
concede.
just
He
gonna
says,
see.
there's no way.
That's just going to be it. But you
Oh,
know
wow.
what? Wow. I mean,
How mad can you be about that, honestly?
Exactly. Like, you got to give it to Jeff. The fact
Yeah.
that he made it all the way to top 16, 7-1. His only loss was on stream yesterday. I guess maybe the stream was a
It's
curse.
a stream
for him.
curse for real. I
Maybe.
thought he played pretty well. We were operating on a whole other level of knowledge than him, far under, saying things like Unending Nightmare, the field spell while Field Barrier was up. He knows the ins and outs of his deck, and it really showed.
He did shotgun that Demise of the Land in that one game, which was a bit of a misstep. I mean, it was completely negligible, but you know, the Phoenix could have possibly just targeted the Demise of the Land instead, which would have just resulted in having one more negation in the form of Dark Bride. But
Though he did win that game.
He did win that game, and honestly, I mean, that's, you know, being on stream, you get nerves. And especially, not even being on stream, you're in stream for top 16 with $2,000 up for grabs. Like, there's pressure, right? We're all going to make mistakes. I think he played very well. And come on, I mean, he's 51 years old.
An incredible run, regardless.
Yeah, he's done better than so many other players out there playing a deck that, you know, a lot of people may not be a fan of, but it was the deck that he could play the best of his ability, and he went the distance.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Kudos to him. So, guys, that's going to do it for the top 16. We should be back with the top 8 very quickly because we were in time for that one. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back really soon.